Hello guys, it's David here from BUGWASH Property, and today I have the honour and the privilege of sitting with one of our most all-time favourite clients, Megan Tuff, and we're going to ask Megan a bunch of questions today. So firstly, Megan, congratulations on being in what we call the 0.9% club. We know that about 8% of Australians invest in the property, but only less than 1% make it to 6+ properties, and you've done it. So huge congratulations, that is awesome. First question is, how does it make you feel to achieve something so special?
Wow, well, who would have thought I would ever get here? I guess mostly I feel proud to have achieved something like that, which 8 or 10 years ago, whenever we met, I probably wouldn't have imagined that that was possible. And I guess I also feel relieved that maybe I've done enough of the right things to maybe set myself up the way I would like my retirement and later years to be.
Excellent. Okay, now what made you decide to get started on your property investment journey in the first place?
Well, I always knew I would do some investing from when I was a late teenager. And I think I started a share portfolio in my 20s because that was really the only thing that I knew. But then I read that famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and really opened my mind to all sorts of other investment concepts and ways of investing and benefits of accumulation. And that was really the start of my self-education, I guess. I went on seminars, property seminars. I was interested in property, so I read books and tried to get a better understanding of what I would be in for. And it worked, because in my early 30s I bought my first property in Maitland, and then a few years after that I bought a second one in Maitland. I sold them both very quickly because it turns out they weren't great investments, but that was really how I got started.
Well, that's interesting, because I didn't even know that you'd read those books before we met.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next question though. So thinking back on when you purchased your first investment property, did you ever think that you would get to 6+ properties?
No, I would never have imagined that. But now that I have 6, I could see that I could do even more. So I think what really changed for me in that period from when I started was that I met you, and then I subsequently met Brian, and being able to work with people who really have your best interests at heart and can make things easy for you is really what made the difference.
In your particular case, you had a property coach helping you, and I'm lucky enough to be that person in your case, but how much harder do you think it would have been if you had to sort of do what most investors do and just try and work it all out on your own?
Oh, well, I can tell you right now that I would not be here. I'm not a great fan of detail, and this is a part of property investment. Actually, it's quite a big part of property investment. So where you have come in and just stupendously for me is you just basically took all the hard work out of the process for me. You were the one who went and found the deals, you were the ones who found the lenders and the brokers, and you took care of all that, and then all I had to do was provide the information to the banks and sign on the dotted line, and we were there. The other thing I couldn't have done without your assistance is all of the contacts that you provided me over the years. Property managers, lenders, brokers, anything that I needed, you had the right person for the job, and you were happy to pass it on.
So Megan, without talking about your actual income, are you happy with the amount of tax deductions you've picked up along the way as a result of investing into property?
Well, really any tax deduction is a bonus, let's be real. But certainly the property, the way that that's structured, has definitely bridged the gap between the rent that is received and the loan repayments that I need to make. And I don't think I would have been able to continue buying the property that I have if I hadn't had those tax deductions. And that happened mostly because I was connected with a great accountant who understood property investing and the deductions that were available, and they helped me maximise what that could be.
So Megan, stats show that 85% of property investors sell their properties before they make any money. Do you reckon you might have fallen victim to that trap along the way if you didn't have that support and guidance?
Actually, I confess that I've actually thought about selling many times.
We've had those conversations.
Yeah, we have had those conversations. And
it's so sad to think that 85% of investors, sell before they make any money. All those people have been out there having a go, they don't get it right. It's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me to do that.
So Megan, when the time comes, how excited will it be to be able to enjoy the fruits of an early successful retirement, and what difference do you think it's going to make to your life?
It's probably not so much about retirement for me. That feels like a dirty word, because I love my job and I want to keep doing it for as long as possible. But I think what I'm looking for out of this process is really just choice and freedom. So what would be a great outcome for me in 10 or 15 years is that maybe I work in Australia for 9 months of the year and then I go and live overseas for 3 months. So
you've always loved your travel, haven't you?
Yeah, I do love travel. So I would just like to be able to have the choice, the financial freedom to have those choices when I'm tired of doing what I do today.
So Megan, for most of us, the idea of investing means that we've got to get out of our comfort zones. What was it that made you decide to just get in there and have a go?
Honestly, I think it was fear initially. Fear that I would end up in some aged care home somewhere because I didn't have enough money when I retired, and that all, my future would be out of my control. So that's probably not a great place to start from. But now my motivation's different. Now that I've had some success and I've gotten over that sort of fear aspect, it's about, it's quite exciting. I've got 10 to 20 years working in front of me. What more can I do in that time period? So that's what I enjoy about it now.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because fear, most people allow fear to stop them from having a go, but I was exactly the same as you, and I was more fearful of what would happen if I didn't get into successful investing. So it's interesting.
Maybe that's why we get on so well, David.
Possibly. Yeah. So Megan, have you got any pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share with our viewers that might encourage and inspire them to step out of their comfort zones and set a goal to get into their 6+ club? Because I'd love to be able to just help more and more people out there in Australia, get to this level.
Well, look, maybe I can share the 3 things that I think really worked for me. The first one was getting a bit educated so that I wasn't afraid of investing and I understood a little bit about what it was about. I think that was a really important step for me. The second thing is that I'm prepared to play the long game. I'm not looking to sell up in a couple of years. I'm prepared to kind of sit it out till the benefits come through. And the third thing, and probably the most important, is to find people that you trust absolutely to help you on your way. And for me, that's yourself and Brian. You've been with me right from the start, and I feel like we're kind of partners in this. I feel like you really have my best interests at heart. I know I couldn't have done it without you, and I feel like we're all on the same journey together. So that's been probably the most significant thing for me. And I hope everybody has the opportunity to find someone like these two.
Thank you very much, Megan. Really appreciate your time.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.